Tonight, Chris Janson, you are going to be inducted into the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes.
Does that, like, for you, is that a moment that you've always dreamed of, or is it something you never could have dreamed of?
To be honest, that's a great question, man, and you couldn't have said it better. So I always usually answer questions like that with, I totally dreamed of it, and I totally foresaw it happening. You can't foresee something like this happening because it's sort of the thing you keep in the back of your mind that's sort of unachievable, if you will. Now, playing the Opry for me was even that, and getting on the radio having hits as a singer was sort of that. I mean, because you can't expect anything out of this life. You just got to work really hard at it, pray really hard at it, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, you do something else. But thankfully, I've been able to accomplish every goal that I set out to have when I moved to Nashville, which is have number one songs as a singer, have hits as a songwriter, and also to play the Opry, let alone be a member is sort of, like I said, it's that unachievable feeling. And so getting to do that and getting to be a member in that elite small group and family that the Grand Ole Opry is really says a lot. I think Blake Shelton probably said it the best. Blake Shelton said, I finally feel like in so many words, I'm making my mark in country music, in history of country music. And that's what this is tonight. And so it really does more for me. And I think the whole just overall business as a whole, with me being, the center point of it for this moment, it just says something different. It's the first phone call, if it puts in perspective for listeners out there of how big of an honor this is, not just being on the Grand Ole Opry, which is big enough itself, but just to my peers who aren't members.
See, this is what I was hoping. I was going to bring this up if you did.
Yeah.
The first phone call was from a guy who's not a member.
Correct.
But wait till who he is.
Yeah, Luke Bryan, quite possibly. Crazy. Yeah, one of the absolutely biggest stars in the world now, and in country music certainly. And it was a very humbling phone call, and it really meant a lot to me. And Dustin Lynch was second on the docket, and then so on and so forth. And not to mention all the text messages, but there's something to be said for people who send a text and people who call. And I just thought that was such a classy thing and a classy move. And I'm going down in a book, and I say this unpretentiously, but I say it with a lot of humble pride too. I'm going down in a book, a small book, with Dolly Parton, with Blake Shelton, my friend, Garth Brooks, Keith Urban, George Jones, Alan Jackson. I mean, those are not just some people. I mean, that's a big deal, man. And so, I'm really, really, really grateful for that, and even for the what I call like the new Opry community over the last couple of years, Little Big Town, Chris Young, all these people, Josh Turner, Darius Rucker, of course Brad Paisley, they all get it just like I do. But for me, this really epitomizes everything that I have ever worked for, and I always wanted to have, because I'm such a love for the history of country music and just the heritage of it, and frankly, what made country music famous in the first place, which was the Grand Ole Opry. The first place you started hearing about Hank Williams on a big level was the Grand Ole Opry, that kind of thing, Louisiana Hayride, those sort of things. And I always wanted to be part of that. I mean, how cool to win awards, how cool to have hit songs, but how even much cooler to be having your name engraved on a wall. I mean, that
awesome.
that can never, ever be forgotten ever. And it just means a lot.